You talk about chaos as if it's me forcing a few votes and filing a few motions. Real chaos is when the American people have to go through the austerity that is coming if we continue to have $2 trillion annual deficits. You don't know chaos until you've seen where this Congress and this uniparty is bringing us.
The civil war within the GOP has now devolved into absolute utter chaos when Matt Gaetz leading the mutiny, yes, that's right, the mutiny against now former Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy.
If the Democrats want to own Kevin McCarthy, they can have it. Because one thing I'm at peace with is when we stand here a week from now, I won't own Kevin McCarthy anymore. He won't belong to me. So if the Democrats want to adopt him, they can adopt him.
Gaetz did all that he could to kick McCarthy out, refusing to work with him any longer by starting the official removal process.
The gentleman will state the form of his resolution.
Declaring the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives to be vacant. Resolved that the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives is hereby declared to be vacant.
And this is how the House responded to Gaetz' motion for McCarthy to vacate.
For what purpose does the gentleman from New Jersey seek recognition?
This is ridiculous and absurd, man. Now, it's not that crazy because of the characters we're dealing with in Matt Gaetz and Kevin McCarthy, but still, it feels like we're watching a daytime television soap opera. And the funny thing is, Republicans are kind of suffering from their own success because they have brought in the most unhinged characters imaginable into the party, which is now creating division and threatening how they can wield their power in Congress. And even Mr. Gaetz recognizes the pickle that Republicans have put themselves into.
If we take Paul Ryan off the field right now, instead of being able to finish strong in the 115th Congress, we will shatter into a bunch of factions fighting against each other for power. And I don't think that pushing him out early, if he doesn't want to go, is in any way advantageous.
Congressman, with all due respect, and I have a lot of respect for you and many of the positions
Likewise.
that you hold. Thank you very much. I will say this, if Paul Ryan has done such a bang-up job, his caucus shouldn't be fractured. But he's such a used-up, dirty old Band-Aid that the second you rip him off, the almost corpse is going to fall into a million pieces.
Well, to torture your metaphor, if you take that Band-Aid off too soon, you can get an infection.
I'll take hypocrisy for 500, Alex. Thank you. 2018, Matt Gaetz, you were singing a whole different tune about making sure the party stood together and united as a political party when y'all had control of all the branches of the government. But now in 2023, you over here proudly and arrogantly leading this mutiny with your chest all out to get rid of Kevin McCarthy. So, of course, his colleagues in Congress and in the media, they let him hear it.
I cannot conceive of a more counterproductive and self-destructive course than that. The supreme irony is that this is being initiated by self-described conservatives. Do they honestly believe that when the Democrats side with them to remove a Republican speaker, that they will then side with them to name a more conservative replacement? Of course not.
I think Kevin is the right guy at the right time. The only way he loses his job is if a handful of Republicans join up with the Democratic Party to fire him. That would be a disaster for the future of the Republican Party. That's not going to happen. Kevin has the overwhelming confidence of his membership.
What is this going to ultimately accomplish, your view?
I'm not too sure it's going to accomplish that much. I mean, there's a lot of real principled opposition to McCarthy. You want to listen to that, you get someone like Chip Roy. What's going on between McCarthy and Gaetz at this point seems like a personal grudge.
I think it's nihilistic. I just don't know what they seek to accomplish, and whoever it is going to be the next speaker, they're going to try to vacate that person. Anybody who has to make any agreement or compromise, they're against. You can't vote with a 5-vote majority and speak like you have a 50-vote majority. Republicans only have 5.
You have to have more votes. You have to get power back.
Well, the results came in, baby. And Kevin McCarthy, who tweeted on October 2nd, bring it on in reference to all this hoopla, well, he was indeed ousted as Speaker of the House in a historic 216 to 210 vote. With 8 Republicans, that's right, 8 Republicans siding with Democrats to remove him as Speaker of the House, which makes me wonder, okay, if Republicans are divided on this front, what's going to happen in the 2024 presidential election? That is the legit question because they have a lot of polarizing and problematic candidates who are going to be running. Then you have the factor, or you look at Matt Gaetz, how will he benefit at all from engineering and leading this mutiny against Kevin McCarthy, right? It only takes 1 or 2 players who, like Matt Gaetz, 1 or 2 players who have power and influence to boost him and give him a more enhanced political career. And now it's just really bad PR for the Republicans to be be frank. Although, maybe not entirely, because they don't mind obstructing the government. And speaking of the government, specifically the government shutdown that was averted a few days earlier, Kevin McCarthy played a key role in engineering a bipartisan effort to make sure we did not have another government shutdown. Now, I'm not saying Republicans, voted him out because of that, but the timing is interesting for sure. And now, speaking of timing, they have to vote on a new Speaker of the House. Who will it be? There's no clear-cut favorite, so we'll just have to wait and see. But for now, what we do know is there's a whole lot of animosity within the Republican Party. That's for sure.